Welcome to the second game of our I'm used to saying doubleheader. First triple header for week 14. We just saw Ohio State, Michigan go to work in the rivalry. Now it's time for the Palmetto Bowl. That's right, the South Carolina Gamecocks traveled to Clemson, South Carolina to take on the Tigers. Of course, you haven't seen South Carolina since week 3 when they played Northwestern in a triple overtime thriller. You haven't seen Clemson in a bit. I think the last time you saw them was when they played Maryland in ACC play. First things first, let's take a look at the rosters real quick, just to see who we are looking at. The Dontrell Pinkins, the redshirt senior quarterback, is the starter for South Carolina. Running back duo, Demetrius Summers, Dacus Turman, and fullback is Jamie Peters. Troy Williamson is back for South Carolina. He leads the receiving corps alongside Corey Boyd, Takeem Muhammad, Matthew Thomas, and Andre Hemphill. And for tight ends, Andy Boyd and Brian Brownlee. Offensive line, it looks something like this. Jabari Levy is the leader of the group. John Strickland injured. And I believe if I take a look at who is starting at guard for South Carolina, at center, that's one of 2 injuries for the Gamecocks. It's Lane Gaines that will be the center for that game. Defensive ends, you got Mo Thompson and George Goss. D tackles, Daryl Shropshire and Preston Thorne. Linebackers, outside linebackers, you have Ricardo Hurley and Marcus Lawrence. Middle linebackers, Sean Irwin and Curtis Rice. Corners, Rasheed Monroe, Jake Whitaker on the outside. Burt Abrams and Brian Baird on the outside. Or no, it's Burt Abrams and Jermaine Harris on the inside. Rodriguez Wilson at free safety, and at strong safety, it's Fred Bennett. For the injured, Jameisha Jackson. Hope I said that right. Stanley Huggins as the kicker, 6'6" freshman. That was a pretty cool frame for him. And punter, Josh Brown. And now we take a look at the Clemson Tigers. Charlie Whitehurst, of course, the redshirt junior quarterback for the Clemson offense. Running back duo is Yusuf Kelly and Reggie Merriweather. Couldn't fit the whole name in there because of the game. Brenton Curtis is the true freshman fullback. Receivers, Derek Hamilton leads that group alongside Aries Curry, Michael Collins, Kelvin Grant, and Ryan McPherson. Tight ends, you got Bobby Williamson and Lavelle Armstrong as the duo. Offensive line looks something like this with Nathan Bennett leading that group. Defensive ends, Ernest Jones and Andre Hurst. The tackles, you got Donnell Washington and Eric Coleman. Outside linebackers, Ryan Carr and Landon Johnson. Middle linebackers, Leroy Hill and Raquel Lalani. That is the custom player for Clemson. Justin Miller leads the corner group alongside Ty Hill on the outside. Ryan Hemby and Buddy Williams are on the inside. Travis Pugh at free safety, Gerald McLeod at strong safety, with Huey Williams at kicker and Cole Chasen at the punter spot. You haven't seen Clemson in a while. You haven't seen South Carolina in a minute. It's time to kick off the Palmetto Bowl. Let's see the 2 teams from the state of South Carolina. For the alternate uniforms, they do have it all orange for Clemson, and for South Carolina, it's all white with red socks, so that's what we'll go with. And I'm not going to do the coin toss this time. I don't know why it counts towards my thing, but we're just going to go with it. Let's kick this thing off. Yeah, Dontrell Pinkins with 2,200 yards, and Charlie Whitehurst with 2,500. Yusuf Kelly and Demetrius Summers, the 2 runners for their respective offenses. And here we go, Clemson, South Carolina, the Clemson Death Valley. It's the site for this Palmetto Bowl between the Gamecocks of South Carolina and the Clemson Tigers, both coming into this game at 6-5. Their conference play is already over. I forgot they don't have Howard's Rock on this game. So that's why they get off the field in such a weird angle. Here come the Clemson Tigers. And folks, as always, it is Devin Price commentating every single game solo. Here comes the South Carolina Gamecock squad, 65. South Carolina is just coming off a win over Florida just last week in an upset. Florida was a BCS top 15 team before losing to the Gamecocks. Now South Carolina looks to get that 7th win, as is Clemson. 2,200 yards, 15 touchdowns to 6 picks. For Dondrial Pinkins, what a performance so far this season. At least it was pretty above average, to be fair. So here we go. Gotta put the sound on. Yeah, I didn't do a coin toss here. So here we go. Clemson kick it off to the Gamecocks. They're gonna know all about the stats of Dondrial Pinkins in just a second once we get this thing kicked off. The kickoff specialist is Huey Williams, the true freshman. Back to return for South Carolina is Troy Williamson and Demetrius Summers, the redshirt freshman running back. The true freshman puts the ball down, and the Palmetto Bowl for 2004 is underway. The kickoff. Here goes the return. This is Demetrius Summers. He goes to the 20, breaks a tackle to the 23-yard line. Here comes the South Carolina offense, led by Mr. Dondrial Pinkins. 130 QBR, of course. 2,200 yards passing, is currently 3rd in the SEC. He looks to have a much better game this time around, even though South Carolina has been struggling this season. This is his final Palmetto Bowl. He looks to make it count. There is Matthew Thomas in motion for South Carolina for their first drive of the game. Here's Pinkins, drop it back, lofter left side, and that is knocked away. What a deflection by the Clemson safety. That was Travis Pugh who got the knockdown. That time going for, if I look here, looks like Troy Williamson was the intended target. Speaking of impact players, Demetrius Summers, redshirt freshman running back, and Troy Williamson, 6'2" junior wideout, are the impact players for the offense. Clemson's defense led by Justin Miller and Ty Hill in the secondary. 2nd and 10 after the incompletion. Pinkins stepping up, now takes off. He looks to get a big gain, and he's going to get about 8 yards. A good decision by Pinkins to take off running. He gets a nice gain, but it will be 3rd and short. Ty Hill with a stop. South Carolina almost was one of the closer teams to pull off the victory in SEC play against those Tennessee Volunteers. All the Vols have left are the game against Kentucky and the SEC Championship, and they'll be in the National Championship if they win both. 3rd down and 2. Here's Summers on the run. He ran right into Justin Miller, and so he came up short.
Right here, Wyatt, what's up?
Here comes 4th down after a 3-and-out by South Carolina. So to punt for the Gamecocks, it's Josh Brown, the junior punter. That's return for Clemson is Miller. Rough start for South Carolina's offense as they get forced to punt on 3 plays. Here is the kick. It's a pretty solid punt to the 21. Here goes Miller on the return. Goes down to the 31, maybe the 32. Bring down by, if I'm looking here, Dacus Turman. So here come the Clemson Tigers, led by Mr. Charlie Whitehurst. His 2,500 yards are also 3rd in the ACC. He's had a very solid season with 18 touchdowns to 8 picks. Shotgun play here for the Clemson Tigers to start the drive. Here's Whitehurst, throws left side, it's incomplete. He went for Derek Hamilton. That's the Bolitnikov finalist for the season. Leads the ACC in catches, yards, and touchdowns. Impact players for this game for the offense, Derek Hamilton and Aries Curry. For the offense of Clemson, South Carolina's defense led by George Goss and Ricardo Hurley in the linebacker core. Here's 2nd and 10 after the incompletion. Trips on the top left of the screen. Whitehurst takes off running on the left side. And he's going to come up short as well on 2nd down. That was a gain of 9 yards on that play. Cedric Cobbs had a nice game against Mississippi State, 150 yards and 2 scores. Looks like Whitehurst came up a yard short of the first down. Whitehurst can scramble a bit, so he doesn't always have to pass the ball or throw it through the air. He can run as well. Play fake to Kelly, who's Whitehurst's right side. Throw is knocked away. Hamilton, the intended target that play. Coverage was by Jake Whitaker, the true freshman. So both teams come up 3 and out on their opening drive. To return to punt for Clemson is Cole Chasen, the redshirt sophomore, and for South Carolina it's Troy Williamson to return. My goodness. Both defenses coming out strong in the early going. In just under 2 minutes. Here is the punt going to the right side. Here goes the catch of the run by Williamson. Here he takes off on the left sideline, goes to the 39. That is where South Carolina will take over for their second drive of the first quarter. The tackle was made by Brian Carr. Here comes the South Carolina offense for their second drive of the game. 3 and out last time. Had a chance at a big play on first down, but deep pass for Troy Williamson knocked away by the free safety. So under 2 minutes gone by, both OW drives resulted in duds. No first downs and 3 and outs for both teams. Now is where the real battle starts. Here on the second drive. Power I formation for South Carolina. Pinkins to throw with some backside pressure. That's intercepted by Ty Hill. To the 45-yard line. The penalty is going to be against South Carolina, so Clemson could just decline the penalty. That is a Clemson interception, and the Tigers will take over in Gamecock territory. The penalty was on Hakeem Francis, a true freshman left tackle for South Carolina, and it was Ty Hill, the redshirt junior corner, making the big play. And now Clemson sets up after one play on defense, now with the first down after the first takeaway of the game. Exactly 2 minutes off the clock of the first quarter. Blitz picked up well by Clemson, and Whitehurst fires deep, almost had Aries Curry. Good deflection by Jake Whitaker to prevent an early touchdown in the first quarter. Would have been a one-play touchdown score for Aries Curry, the 5'11" senior wideout. There are 2 seniors on that receiving corps, Hamilton and Curry. How about Derek Hamilton, though, leading the ACC in catches, yards, and touchdowns, one of the best receivers in the game this season. Option play, 2nd and 10. Whitehurst pitches it to Kelly. He also leads the the conference. Leads the entire ACC in carries, yards, and touchdowns on the ground as well. So they got some 2 talented players, 2 talented seniors on this offense. It was a season of super close calls for the Clemson Tigers. Just didn't go their way for most of it. Pittsburgh and Maryland being the 2 obvious points, and also Florida State. Kelly now goes in motion for 3rd and 7 for the Tigers. Let's see what they can make of this third down. Empty backfield now. No rain to interrupt this game. And Whitehurst is going to go with option, and he is slammed down behind the line. What a play for the South Carolina defense as they stuff Whitehurst right around the line of scrimmage. That was Sean Irwin, the true freshman, who got there. And South Carolina's defense turns down the Tigers. Once again, another drive stumped out. This time, Clemson has to punt for a second time instead of an interception. See where Cole Chasen will punt this. Maybe to the end zone, and that will be the case. So South Carolina coming off an interception thrown by Dondriel Pinkins. There's Georgia Tech being Virginia thanks to 3 touchdown passes by Demarius Bilbo in the ACC. That was a big upset in the ACC. Also happened is Duke beating their in-state rivals UNC 27-10. And that's it for now. Pinkins trying to roll option play there, trying to keep a keeper, but no chance. Ty Hill with a big tackle. He already had an interception in this game. Very interesting call there on first down. And actually lost a couple yards. Actually lost 8 yards, so 2nd and 11 for the 19. Very interesting play calling here for the Gamecocks. I think they're led by Lou Holtz. Yeah, this was Lou Holtz. Rest in peace, by the way. Here's a pitch to Demetrius Summers. And he gets taken down for a loss. Loss of yardage on 2nd down. Back-to-back plays that go behind the line of scrimmage. Brian Carr was there for the TFL this time. 3rd down for South Carolina. It's going to be 3rd and 14 from the 16. South Carolina's going to have a tough 3rd down to have to get by. They're going to have to rely on the passing game. That's exactly what they're going to have to go to. That's it. That's a sack by Eric Coleman. He's in the top 3 of the sacks in the ACC. That is his 8th sack of the year. Currently the 3rd most sacks in the ACC. Only behind 2 players in that conference. And South Carolina goes 3 and outs again. Too many of these 3 and outs. Like, these defenses came out to play in this game. It's a big rivalry, so it makes a lot of sense. So here comes the punt for South Carolina. 2nd punt of the game for Josh Brown. Here goes Justin Miller on the return. Past the 40, and he is hit hard at the 49. Thankfully for them, no fumble. There's no score yet. Clemson, this was the early 2000s. They weren't thought of as a big powerhouse yet. I believe Tommy Bowden is the head coach. That is Bobby Bowden's son. He actually led Clemson to some good seasons, just it wasn't until Dabo Swinney where they would be nationally relevant. Well, since the 80s or something like that. Or wherever they won their last national championship before Dabo took over. 1st down in East backfield. Here goes Yusuf Kelly. He breaks a tackle. He breaks another. And he's got a good gain into South Carolina territory. What a big run for Yusuf Kelly. The ACC's leading rusher this season. That's exactly why he does, because able the ability to break multiple tackles on a single play. It's amazing to watch if you're a Clemson fan. He gets 9 on the 1st down play. Under 2 minutes left in the 1st quarter. Clemson looking for a score to end the 1st quarter. In the opening quarter. Here's the 2nd and short. 2 receivers up top. Here's the handoff. It's Kelly again. He is met in the backfield. What a play for South Carolina's defense. Big stop for South Carolina. To make it 3rd down, it was George Goss this time, the 6'5" senior defensive end. And now 3rd down for the Tigers. Big play defensively. They had a 2nd and 1, thought they had an easy 1st down, but good play by George Goss to get in the backfield before Kelly even had a chance at getting the 1st down. 3rd and short for Clemson. Minute 15 to go in the opening quarter. Now they go in the eye. Hamilton will now go motion. It is an option play. Oh, and Whitehurst is going to pitch it to Kelly. He's got 1st down inside the 40. Just had enough space to get the 1st. Look at Raymond Kirkley. 49-17 over Temple for Pitt. And Raymond Kirkley had 5 rushing touchdowns in the Big East. Pitt would later become a ACC team in 2013. That was when the Big East turned into the American. Pitt went to the ACC alongside Syracuse. Then Rutgers went to the Big Ten. And then Louisville followed Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh and Syracuse into the ACC. 1st down 10 after the option run. Here's the handoff now to the fullback, and he is shut down right around the line of scrimmage. Good play for the South Carolina defensive line. Daryl Shropshire, the 6'2" senior defensive tackle, makes the play defensively. Hardly any gain on the play for the fullback. That time the run by Brandon Curtis. It was a 1-yard gain to the 37. Here we go, 2nd and 9, under 20 seconds to go, reaching the final seconds of the opening quarter. Play action. Here's Whitehurst. Lots of time in the pocket. Fires over the middle. Is complete. It's Derek Hamilton over the middle. And it will be 1st and goal to go for the Tigers. Whitehurst just put that in a bread basket, threaded the needle over the middle, and took a big shot, but held on for the 1st down. And it's goal to go for Clemson. Again, this is the Palmetto Bowl here in Season 2 of the NCAA Football 2004 Sim. We have reached the end of the 1st quarter. No score yet, but Clemson threatening to score as they have about 8 yards to go on 1st and goal against South Carolina. So here is 1st and goal, the first play of the 2nd quarter. South Carolina spreading their defense out. A tight end on each side of the line. 2 receivers out as well. Here's a shotgun play. Whitehurst going to take off. And he is not going anywhere. Going down in the backfield. What a play for South Carolina's defense. And the tackle will go, if I'm looking at this correctly, Bert Abrams, the true freshman, nickelback, ends up getting the stop. So 2nd and goal now for Clemson, right around the 8. South Carolina was ready for that option, that QB keeper. Loss of 1 actually for Charlie Whitehurst. Good play defensively. They're trying their best to bend but not break defensively. 2nd and goal. Here's Whitehurst. Here's the throw to the running back, and he overthrew it. Threw it just past Kelly. So it goes incomplete, and it'll be 3rd and goal from the 9. There was a little bit of backside pressure for Whitehurst. He had to get rid of it. He was able to escape it, but in doing so, just mistimed that throw to the running back. Missed opportunity there for a touchdown for Clemson. 3rd down and goal from the 9. Now shotgun play. Your 4 receivers spread out. Whitehurst over the middle. Passes incomplete. I think the ball was tipped by South Carolina, and wow. The defense for the Gamecocks able to hold firm and not allow a touchdown for Clemson. Just a good defensive set of downs for South Carolina and goal-to-go situation. Unable to really take advantage of the field position was Clemson. Now they're forced to kick. Huey Williams out of the hold of Charlie Stuckey. And I believe the snapper's Nathan Bennett. Extra point. Field goal is good from 27 yards away for Huey Williams. The true freshman knocks it through. And Clemson first on the scoreboard with a field goal. 3-0 Tigers. 40 seconds into the 2nd quarter. Clemson gets the first points of the game, but that could have very easily been 7-0. Credit to the defense for South Carolina for getting some big stops in goal-to-go situation to force a field goal on the Tigers. So now it's South Carolina's turn to respond to the score by Clemson. Huey Williams to kick it off once again. And here is the kick. We return to the 6-yard line. This is Williamson on the return. And he will be brought down, looks like at the 28-yard line. There's Ohio State, Michigan. That was a big game. Ohio State moves on to the national championship. Tennessee, 2 games left on their schedule on their way to South Beach. They got to win against Kentucky next week. They just beat Vanderbilt this week. And they also got to win the SEC championship against either Auburn or Arkansas, depending on what happens either in the Iron Bowl or next week's matchup between Arkansas and LSU. We'll keep in mind on that as we progress. Here's Pinkins going to Demetrius Summers. Breaks the tackle down the sideline. Pushed out of bounds at midfield. What a run for the redshirt freshman. 6'1", 205 pounds. He's got 800 yards and 8 touchdowns this season. One of the best rising stars at running back in the SEC. And he proves why with that big run. Just wonderfully executed option by South Carolina. Results in a big run. They're already at midfield at their one play. First to 10. Here's Summers again. Oh no, it's Pinkins keeping it. He breaks a tackle and he gets a decent gain of 4, maybe 5 to the 45-yard line. Tackle was made by Andre Hurst, the true freshman. But Pinkins had a pretty decent run in that play. Yeah, I think we all were confused. I thought that play was going to Summers, but Pinkins actually kept it. And he took off, and he actually got a decent gain of 4 to set up a second down. Pretty good run there for Pinkins to set up 2nd and 6 here in Clemson territory. Here's the handoff. This is Turman on the carry. He is not going anywhere. Excuse me, that's Gonzi Gray, the redshirt senior 3rd-string running back who tried to carry the ball, and he got stuffed in after the tackle was made by Leroy Hill, the senior middle linebacker. You can only run it so many times before the defense starts to figure it out. Now, good play for Leroy Hill on that run play. Now sets up a pretty passing situation here for South Carolina. High snap, 3rd and 6. Pinkins throws it. It's dropped by Williamson. He had it, and he dropped it. I think Justin Miller got that ball out. But they do call it a drop. They did not have full possession of the football. So it just goes incomplete, and South Carolina will just have to punt it away again. 3rd punt of the half, 1st of the quarter for South Carolina. It was a promising drive, to say the least, after a big run on the opening play of the drive that set up South Carolina midfield, but unable to take advantage of the field position. That's going to be a touchback. Touchback by the punt, on the punt by Josh Brown, and now Clemson with a 3-0 lead looks to try to extend it after forcing a key 4th down punt on the Gamecocks offense. That was a clutch defensive play, though, by one of the best corners in the country. A 99 overall corner, Justin Miller. That was a big play for the Clemson defense. Here's Whitehurst dropping back. He's going to look right side. Tipped up, both picked. Woo! Nearly had his man. That was Sean Irwin who nearly had an interception. I wish he would have put 2 hands out there. I mean, good job with the 1-hand deflection, but if you would have had 2 hands on this play, that would have been a pick 6 and a lead for South Carolina. South Carolina spreads their defense out this time. This is Michael Collins in motion on 2nd down. Toss to Kelly, and I'll end around pass to Hamilton, who throws it to Whitehurst. And he runs a man over. Oh, he's close. He's right at the marker. They may give it to him. That was very close to the 1st down marker. They're going to say he's short to the 30-yard line, but it's now 3rd and inches. That was a very wild play sequence. Hamilton with the pass to his quarterback. He just almost got the 1st down. That would have been a huge trick play. That went for 10 yards. See, Daniel goes in motion on 3rd and inches. Clemson get the 1st down here on 3rd and inches. They're going to drop back, actually. Whitehurst going to throw it over the middle. That's complete. Uh-oh, down the field into Carolina territory goes Lavelle Armstrong, the backup tight end. It's a 1st down for the Tigers. They fooled everybody on that pass play on 3rd and inches. I think the Carolina defense thought they were going to run it, but it ended up being a pass play. 29-yard reception for Lavelle Armstrong, the freshman backup tight end, and it sets Clemson up beautifully here in Carolina territory. 41-yard line, 4 minutes left in the 2nd quarter. High snap. Here's Whitehurst looking left to right side. He's going for it all. Incomplete. That time going for Aries Curry. along the right sideline. Had to go for that big play sooner rather than later. Just couldn't do so on that. Yep, not quite there this time. But, you know, it's never a bad thing to try to take a shot at least once or twice. 2nd and 10 after the incompletion. Whitehurst throws short, complete. This is Kelly on the reception. Goes down to the 36-yard line. That was actually intended for Armstrong, but Yusuf Kelly jumped right in front and snapped it away. Now 3rd down here for the Tigers. Very interesting little drive here for Clemson. A little wacky drive, if you would. Yeah, we got players jumping in front of other defenders and all that stuff. Whew, my goodness. So here we go, 3rd down and 5. Here goes Whitehurst to throw on 3rd down. Lots of time, right side throw. He's got Curry. He's got a touchdown. And Clemson scores the first touchdown in the game with a lofter pass and a perfect throw to Aries Curry. Gliding through the air in a dive. Just a perfect throw. Man behind the defense, Aries Curry. And he puts Clemson on the board once again. And great play on 3rd and 5. Extra point now coming up for Huey Williams, the true freshman. A bit of field goal from 27 yards away in the second quarter, early in the second quarter. That kick is good. And Clemson up 10-0 here against South Carolina in the Palmetto Bowl. Let me look up what happened the last time on Season 1, because I don't remember playing that matchup. I definitely did not. We can knock that out of the way. So it's like I definitely didn't do so. Palmetto Bowl, right? Here we go. Looks like South Carolina won this game in overtime in Season 1, 30-23. Interesting. So here we go, Huey Williams to kick it off. Clemson was actually ranked at one point this season. Fortunately, they couldn't sustain it after a loss to NC State, who is going to play later on this week. It looks like it's going to be one of tomorrow's games, after Summers just returned that kickoff just short of the 20-yard line to the 18. He was brought down that time by, I'm trying to see, Buddy Williams was the one who took it down. So 3:18 left in the first half. Let's see if South Carolina can answer after the touchdown scored by Clemson. That's Jamie Peters in motion now for the Gamecocks. South Carolina's got to take down deep here. Passing game could give them some time. They're going to choose to run on 1st down, and Summers not going to go much of anywhere. They're a heavy run team, and Clemson knows it. That time, it was Eric Coleman who got there. Has sacked this entire first half. Glad the defense looking strong here in the first half. Definitely looking very smooth in this one. They got an interception. They got a couple key stops that resulted in punts. Really holding South Carolina off the scoreboard in this ballgame. 2nd down and 8 for the Gamecocks. They got 3 backs in the backfield. This one to Jamie Peters, the fullback. He reverses field. He's going to get just a few yards this time. It will be 3rd down. It was Siegel who got him down this time. Give the credit to Scott Siegel, the true freshman. The tackle leader is actually Raquel Lalani, who is the 2nd string middle linebacker. Just behind Leroy Hill. So here we go, 3rd down and 4. Here's Pinkins looking left side. Oh, it's picked off! Travis Pugh makes the interception, the 2nd one of the game thrown by Pinkins. This secondary is relentless, and Clemson back in business here in South Carolina. Another big mistake by Pinkins, another big play defensively for Clemson. That could set up another touchdown. This is looking like a first half rout at the moment. That's what happens when you're a run-first offense, I guess. Bobby Williamson in motion now, first down. They're going to keep it with Whitehurst. He's going to go up the middle. He's got a decent gain. A nice gain at that. And it will be brought down to 8 yards on the carry. He's got 200 yards in his 2 years with the Tigers. 2 rushing touchdowns as well. And so he's no stranger to running the football. Curtis Rice was there in the stop. 2 runs, 8 yards each for Charlie Whitehurst. He knows how to carry the football well. Actually, he had 3 carries. 2 of them for 8 yards. Here's Whitehurst down the throw. It's Curry inside the 5. At the 3-yard line. Goal to go now for the Tigers once again. And I think that's their first time out. 1:46 left in the half. They are just looking smooth sailing. Not only on defense, but also on offense as well. Being able to take advantage of these mental mistakes by the Gamecocks. They have just been firing on all cylinders all game long, and it doesn't look like there's going to be an end in sight. South Carolina's going to just have to hope and pray that Clemson makes a mistake here. That gets it back in the game. Here's Kelly up the middle. Looking for the end zone. Breaks the tackle, but not going to get to the end zone just yet. Second timeout called by the Tigers. Tackle was made by Daryl Shropshire. Not sure why he was celebrating. He didn't get much of anything on that play. He only got a yard. Yep, only got a single yard. I'm not sure why he was celebrating on that play. 2 yards to go. It's goal to go for the 2-yard line, second to go. 1:42 left out of the second Clemson timeout. Now it's Curtis in motion. It's Kelly, the tailback. They're going to toss it to him. Kelly has open space, and he goes in. Touchdown, Tigers. And it's about to be a 17-0 ball game. There was no one in sight on the left side of the toss play, and he had an easy walk into the end zone. Good job of the offensive line there to clear a way for him. This will be the second extra point by Huey Williams here in the first half. This is looking like a rout here in Death Valley. Howard's Rock is probably right up there. That kick is good. Yeah, I think Howard's Rock is like right at the top where the scoreboard is, somewhere around there. They just didn't put it in the game back then. They get into new games, but the gameplay, yeah, not great. No, not at all. So here we go, first down, or kickoff here for Clemson after another touchdown. This one off an interception by Travis Pugh. The rushing touchdown for 2 yards out by Yusuf Kelly. And if I take a look, that is the 14th rushing touchdown for Yusuf Kelly this season. What an impressive season for not only him, but also the offense as a whole. Yeah, they got 2 amazing players on their respective sides. Unfortunately, oh, wow. What a move by Troy Williamson, but just an outstanding season offensively. Derek Hamilton leading the conference in receiving, all receiving categories, but also being one of the best receivers in the country. But also Yusuf Kelly leading the conference in the all rushing categories. You know, carries, yards, and touchdowns. Just an unbelievable offensive production for both running and receiving. South Carolina trying to get a drive going to end the first half. Here's Pinkins to throw on first down. Left side throw is overthrown. Went for Troy Williamson, but Travis Pugh had his hands on it. Almost had his second INT of the game. Would have been disastrous for South Carolina had that been picked off again. I mean, you don't want to go into the half throwing 3 interceptions headed into halftime. That would have been demoralizing for the Gamecock offense. Minute and a half left to go in the half. Second down and 10 for South Carolina. Pinkins, little quick rollout. Right side throw. Tipped away again. This time, Gerald McLeod with the tip. 0 of 6 with 2 picks for Pinkins. This is an ugly game for him in the first half. This has gotten really ugly for him. It has been an absolute mess offensively for South Carolina. Not really used to pass it this much. He's going to have to do it a lot better this time. There's a good one on third down. That's a first down. That time going to Takeem Muhammad, who in Trey Williams' absence has been South Carolina's leading receiver this season. 50 catches. Now that's like almost 800 yards and 5 touchdowns. Looks like he got 10 on that catch to the 37-yard line. First down, Gamecocks. Finally get something positive here on the passing game. Let's see if they can keep this momentum going. Pick into trouble, now fires over the meat, completes it. Andy Boyd, the tight end, makes a grab. First down, South Carolina. Now they're starting to find their stride here in the first half with just a minute to go. See if they call a timeout here, and they do. First timeout of the game for the Gamecocks. You're at the 48-yard line. Back-to-back first downs on this drive. Let's see if the momentum actually could carry over. Not only on this drive, but also the rest of the game. Guess there's one way to find out, right? First timeout called by South Carolina. With 59 seconds to go, now Summers will go in motion. Empty backfield now for South Carolina. Clemson spreads their defense out as well. Pinkett's little quick rollout. Right side throw. That is complete but out of bounds. One for Corey Boyd. He actually lasted from 03 to 07 for South Carolina. In 07, he led South Carolina's offense to a number 6 ranking, but they were not the same since. Second down and 10 after the completion with 57 seconds remaining. Clemson again spreading their defense out. Be interesting to see. Pinkins outside throw, incomplete. This time going to Matthew Thomas, the redshirt junior. Now third down and 10 now for the Gamecocks. Momentum kind of stopped for a minute after 2 straight first downs. This could be trouble for South Carolina if they don't convert here. 55 seconds left to go in the first half. South Carolina needs a first down to at least have any shot at some points on the board. Here we go, third and 10. Shotgun play for receiver spread out. Pinkins lots of time. Byers over to the left side. It is dropped. Oh goodness, tight coverage there for Travis Pugh on Troy Williamson. That's going to result in fourth down, 49 seconds left. And I think in all honesty, Clemson will probably just run the rest of this half out unless they choose to do otherwise. That's going to result in another punt for Josh Brown. Just 3 straight incompletions, just killed the momentum of the drive after back-to-back first downs in this last possession for South Carolina. Having a punt here is just devastating after the start they had. Here's the carry to the 16-yard line by Justin Miller, and he is brought down by Tex Turman. Here comes the Tiger offense once again. In all likelihood, they're just going to run the rest of this clock out and we're going to head straight to the half. Yep, more than likely that's going to be the case here. See what happens here on first down for the Clemson Tigers. They're in shotgun, which is a little interesting here. It's an option play. Oh, fake pitch by Whitehurst. He's going to take off, and he's got a first down. He's got 100 rushing yards this season to go along with the 2,600 yards he's having so far through the air. How about that for a big play? My goodness, that is just an insane rushing game here for Charlie Whitehurst. Doesn't look like he's going to stop anytime soon, unless South Carolina can find a way to stop it. First down and 10 here. They're going to waste some clock here. That is Collins in motion. Whitehurst will loft it up right side. Oh, both picked off. That is not what you want. After you just forced South Carolina to punt away, despite a good drive, Curry, the intended target, but Jake Whitaker got his hands on it. That is Bad throw by Charlie Whitehurst. Not a great sign. Hopefully that doesn't haunt them in the second half. I formation here. This is Curtis in motion. They're going to hand it off. This is Kelly up the middle. And he's got some room. He breaks some tackles. And I don't think they're going to call a timeout. Oh, they're going to hurry it up here. Are they going to get a playoff? They are going to get a playoff, so this is going to be the last play of the half. Here's the throw to the left side, and oh, incomplete. Ouch. Zeke Daniel, the true freshman, third-string tight end, almost had himself a jumping catch. But there was some pressure from South Carolina's defense that forced that throw to be a little iffy. I think Mo Thompson may have gotten pressure, but it will reach halftime with a Clemson dominating the Palmetto Bowl in the first half, 17-0. Double first downs, over triple the offensive yardage. Already got 2 interceptions on Pinkins, no turnovers themselves. This is just a complete domination by Clemson. Just an absolute decimation of the Gamecocks by the Tigers, 17-0 already. And you see the yardage difference. Like you just said, triple the production offensively of South Carolina. South Carolina's going to need some miracles to happen. They need to get some breaks from their defense to survive this one. The kickoff guy is Josh Brown for South Carolina. Kickoff man, and Justin Miller and Derek Hamilton are about to return as we begin the second half. Caught at the 9-yard line. This is Hamilton on the run. Switches field, tries to make a move, goes down to 25. That is where Clemson will start their first drive of the second half. Tackle was made by Curtis Rice, the redshirt freshman. Miami has one more game as well, going against Pittsburgh. That's going to be a big one. Texas got Texas A&M next week. Nebraska's got one more game against Colorado. They've already clinched the Big 12 North. So if Texas wins, it'll be Texas-Nebraska, the rematch for the Big 12 title. Here's the option play. Whitehurst keeps it again. How about this? A 6-yard run this time. 6 carries for 33 yards for Charlie Whitehurst. Wow. This is an absolutely unbelievable run game here for Charlie Whitehurst. South Carolina must have learned nothing from the first half. That's why they're getting gashed on the run game. How about that? First down now. Here goes Whitehurst. Ooh, in trouble! And that's going to be incomplete. There was some pressure out there. That forced Whitehurst to get rid of that a little quicker than he wanted to. Now second down and 10 for the Tigers. Good pressure by South Carolina defensively, and they got to keep that up if they want to start this game. They can't give Whitehurst any time to throw the football. Third down and 4. This is a big third down. Whitehurst with time. Looking right side. He's got his man. A flag is down. It is all the way down the field, but it's coming back. Yep. Catch was made by Kelvin Grant. Penalty, I believe it was Cedric Johnson who got the penalty. Unbelievable. Wow, that was a huge completion to Kelvin Grant, but yep, Johnson was there for the holding call. Cedric Johnson, the 5th-year senior guard, that negates that huge gain on third down. Now 3rd and 14, rollout pass. Whitehurst fires short. It's complete to the tight end, Bobby Williamson, but shut down immediately. Tackle was made by Marcus Lawrence, the senior outside linebacker, and 4th down coming up for Clemson on the first drive of the second half. Cole Chasen will punt for the 3rd time in this game. A great first half for Clemson. That penalty just ruined the momentum of that drive. That would have been the nail in the coffin in this Palmetto Bowl had they not had that penalty. That was a long catch and run, a good throw by Whitehurst. Yeah, it just sucks that the penalty took it back. Here's the return by Troy Williamson, and he's down in Clemson territory. That is some good field position for South Carolina to start the second half. I mean, the offense for the Gamecocks has been struggling all game. Now second half is where adjustments are made. Let's see if Lou Holtz made some adjustments and they can actually come back at this ball. Only one way to find out. It's time to see what South Carolina can do. Here goes Pinkins. Right side throw. That's an interception. Leroy. Inside the 30 at the 27. The third pick by Pinkins today. Leroy Hill with the interception this time for the middle linebacker spot. Just threw it right to the middle linebacker, and that's tough. I mean, especially enemy territory like that, you can't make a mistake like that to get yourself back in this game. That's exactly what they did on that play. Empty backfield with Kelly in motion, the tailback. Here goes first down for Clemson after the interception. Whitehurst lots of time. Right side throw is dropped by Curry. Had it in his arms, but good play by Whitaker, the true freshman, to knock that away. Go back to that interception. Pinkins is having himself a rough game here tonight. Here this evening. It's really shown on the field. Yeah, third interception thrown in 3 quarters. This one to the middle linebacker. That's just humiliating for the Gamecocks. Now they got to hope their defense can get a stop. Second down, here's Whitehurst. With some pressure, fires, trots by Michael Collins. Virginia Tech with a blowout win with Guy Erickson getting 3 touchdowns. And Georgia Tech, of course, beating Virginia. That's on the ACC. Third down and 10 for the Tiger offense here at the 27-yard line. They might be in field goal range, but with a true freshman, you never know. Yeah, you never know with the true freshman, right? Third and 10. Now Collins will go in motion. He's on the inside of the bomb screen. Inside receiver. Whitehurst right side throw is dropped by the tight end. Bobby Williamson couldn't hang on to this pass. It was short of the first down anyway. So fourth down now for the Clemson Tigers. Burt Abrams on the coverage. And looks like they will attempt a 44-yard attempt. Or 45, depending on how you want to look at it. So let's see if Huey Williams has the leg to get this thing through. Yep, here we go. Let's put it at a 20-0 ball game, and Williams' kick is wide left. He hooked it. Hooked by the freshman. It remains 17-0. Now South Carolina finally keeps Clemson off the scoreboard. Let's see if the Gamecocks can get some momentum going after the missed field goal. Yeah, they just wanted to see how far he could kick it. I think he had no distance, but just, yeah, he hooked the kick. And South Carolina has all the momentum now. Or they need to get some momentum right now to stay alive in this ball. Here we go, first down and 10. This is Summers up the middle. And he's going to be brought down and around the line of scrimmage. The run game is just not going too well for the Gamecocks. Donnell Washington with the stop. Their comfort zone is short pass and running the football. When nothing like that is available for them, that's where you start to see their flaws. Spreading out, the unit spreading out for second down. Shotgun play for South Carolina, and now empty backfield with Summers in motion. Trips on the top of the screen. High snap, blitz coming. Pinkins gets rid of it. That's complete. Troy Williamson makes the grab. First down. Wow, an ugly game here for Pinks. It's 3 of 13 for 32 yards and 3 picks. 42-yard line of Clemson. That's a big-time throw. That is a very big throw here for South Carolina. That's actually at the 38-yard line, not the 42. Yep, 38-yard line. First catch of the game from Williamson. That's a good start for South Carolina, but they need some momentum builders here to stay alive with this ball game because they're running out of time pretty quickly. Here's first down. Blitz coming again. Picked up well by the Gamecocks. Outside throw is complete. Uh-oh, here goes the fullback. What a spin move by Jamie Peters out of the backfield. And that's a first down on a big catch and run by the Richard sophomore fullback. Ran through a defender, had one man to beat. I think if he would have spun the other way, he would have had a much bigger game, but a nice catch and run regardless for the sophomore fullback to give South Carolina at least a little bit of momentum. Inside the 30. Here goes Pinkins now. Outside throw is complete. And deployed another first down. 3 straight completions for Pinkins. Another chain mover. Now they're definitely a field goal range. Well, maybe. I mean, we've seen Stanley Huggins kick, and he missed a short one, so, probably not. No. It's actually second and inches, so no first down just yet for South Carolina. Some good yardage to at least attain to be able to get in the red zone to see if they can do it on second down. Hand off to Summers. He goes, bounces outside, and he will get the first down. 25-yard line is where he stopped. And South Carolina moves the chains again. Gerald McLeod with the stop, but Summers already got across the marker. Now South Carolina is trying to cut into this lead and see if they could score a touchdown to get that started. Touchdown would be huge for the Gamecocks after the start they had in the first half with 51 yards of total offense. Pinkins on a play fake. Lots of time, but it took too long. It's sacked by Ernest Jones. The 6'4" junior defensive end gets home, and it's going to be second down off a sack. One thing you couldn't do if you were South Carolina was wait way too long on the pass play, and that's exactly what they did. And eventually the Clemson defense got there. Three receivers spread out with a tight end on the left side of the line. Now he goes in motion to the right. Summers the tailback. Pinkins right side throw. Outside completes it. That's Taki Muhammad, the fifth-year senior wideout, the only one on this receiving corps. Or the only senior on the receiving corps. Gets a nice catch to the sideline, and now out of bounds. That'll be third down for South Carolina, 3rd and 8 for the 24. Nice outside throw to set South Carolina up a lot better for third down than what it would be if it was incomplete. Now shotgun pass again, 3rd down to the 8, 3:06 to play in the third. Pinkins, lots of time. Over the middle, it's complete to Williamson. It's first and goal. Go to the 6-yard line. A nice throw again by Pinkins. I think he learned a lot from that first half, and he adjusted. Yep, I think he's starting to get a boost of confidence with this drive. If they could score a touchdown on this drive, this could be huge for momentum change for South Carolina. Looks like a power eye. It looks like a it looks like a flex bone, or wishbone, excuse me. It's a handoff to Peters. Can he get to the end zone? He breaks the tackle and he scores! Carolina finally on the scoreboard here in Clemson, South Carolina. Peters with a quick spin move. Gets a juke as well. Breaks a tackle. Wow, what a drive for the sophomore fullback, Jamie Peters. A catch and run, and now a 6-yard rush and score to get South Carolina on the board. Now here comes the extra point. Stanley Huggins, the 6'6" true freshman, kicking. Blake Mitchell as the holder. And to hold the kick. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. Oh, no. A false start. A false start on the kick. You don't even need to move. Lane Gaines was the one who committed a false start. No, he's the center. No, he's the center. That's right. It's Gaines who's snapping the football. It would have been John Strickland. Oh, it would have been. Yep. So Gaines is the snapper, Mitchell the holder, and it's Stanley Huggins as the kicker. He does knock it through, so it's a 10-point game. South Carolina finally gets on the board with a touchdown. It's down to a 10-point lead for Clemson. 2:42 left of the third quarter. Now, if South Carolina could force a punt or get a takeaway on defense, this could get very interesting in this ball game. Now, that remains to be seen. Right. Kickoff here by Josh Brown. Let's see what Clemson has in store after the South Carolina touchdown. Here's the kickoff. And down at the 15-yard line is where he's returning it. And Hamilton brought down hard at the 22-yard line. No fumble, though. Now Clemson things over. Let's see what they can do on first down. Clemson definitely had a little bit of a shaky drive last time, having to punt it away to South Carolina. That set up the touchdown drive at the third quarter. They don't want to blow another lead. They already blew one against Pitt early in the season. Here's Kelly on the run, hit hard, and he's going to get maybe 1 or 2 yards. But a good play there by Mo Thompson. Mo Thompson currently with double-digit sacks this season. With 10 so far, or he's trying to make an impact on this defense. He hasn't done so all game. He's starting to try and emerge as a key contributor in the defense. See if what they can do here on second down. High formation on second down. Here comes Hamilton in motion. Here's an I formation option play for Whitehurst. Can he pitch it out? Yes, he can. Got a defender to go against. The flag is down. It's going to be holding. It's going to bring that run back. It would have been short anyway. Holding call is going to bring this back. Oh my goodness. Roman Fry was actually the one who got a hold. Yep, it was Roman Fry, the offensive tackle. Remember, Clemson lost both of their starting offensive tackles to injury. Lee is out for the season. Edgar Fraser will come back next week. That's definitely a rough situation for Clemson. Whitehurst fires short to the Williamson, the tight end. He's going to go down to 25. Now it's third down. You just got to fire it short. You just got to calm your offense down with the undisciplinedness. 2 back-to-back drives could stall out because of penalties here for Clemson. And that would be huge for South Carolina if it does. Trips on the left side. That would be impressive for South Carolina to see. Let's see if it happens. Whitehurst right side throw is dropped. Oh, by Kelvin Grant. It's a drop, and Clemson's got a punt again. South Carolina's going to get another chance to score. And if they could get some points, it's going to be a one-score game. Maybe heading into the fourth quarter. They're going to have plenty of time to at least score on this drive. This upcoming drive. Fourth punt of the game for Cole Chasen. See what Williamson can do on this return. He's got great speed. Yep, he's got great speed. He could be in a little bit of trouble. 40-yard line. Here goes Williamson. Brought down. Close to midfield. Maybe at the 48-yard line. Now first down for South Carolina after scoring a touchdown on their last drive. I think the momentum's starting to shift South Carolina's way. Let's see if they can keep this going after the score they had on the last possession. 47-yard line. Let's see what South Carolina can do. A score means it's a one-possession game. Pinkins will keep it up the middle. He's got some good blocks. And he hurls a man. Oh, that's coming back. That's a flag. It's on South Carolina. Yep. Would have been a 6-yard run, but a holding penalty is going to be called it was Gaines who got the holding penalty. Oh, Lane Gaines, the true freshman center, just got called for holding. Why? John Strickland, why'd you have to get early? Get this man off the field. 1st and 19. Muhammad will go in motion this time. Trips on the bottom screen. Option play here. Pinkins pitches it to Summers. He's going to break a tackle, but not get too much. Will be 2nd down. 7 carries for 24 yards for Summers. It was Ty Hill who cleaned it up. Good defense on the option there by Clemson. Not allowing South Carolina to get a big gain out of it. Now South Carolina's sent to scramble a bit now. Second and 17, 2 receivers at the top of the screen. Now one comes in, side. Pinkins right side throw is dropped. Corey Boyd had a chance at it. The redshirt freshman wideout. But he couldn't hang on. It's going to be 3rd down for South Carolina. It's going to be 3rd and long on this drive because of that holding penalty. That holding penalty may come back to bite him because now it's going to be 3rd and 17. Not an easy drive not an easy play to get through with the 1st down. Trips on the bottom screen now. Muhammad goes in motion here in the shotgun. Defender out there covering. 30 seconds remaining. Pinkins waits, looks deep, has a man. It's Troy Williamson in the red zone. 1st down, South Carolina. What a completion. Pinkins just waits for Williamson to come open, and he does with a great leaping catch right in front of the free safety, Pathis Pugh, and he gets a big reception on 3rd and long. How did Clemson allow that? I do not know. But South Carolina now in the final seconds look to try to score on this drive to keep themselves alive in the game. Oh my goodness. It's hand off to Summers up the middle. In heavy traffic, the ball comes out and South Carolina picks it back up. Oh goodness, that could have been scary. That would have been disastrous. I think it was Jabari Levi who got the fumble recovery. 10-point lead for Clemson at the end of the 3rd quarter. Ernest Jones telling everybody, put your fours up because it's time for the 4th quarter. Here we go. Here in the red zone, right at the 15-yard line. 2nd down for the Gamecocks. This could be the biggest drive of the game. North Carolina needs to score on this possession to keep themselves alive. Handoff to Summers, brought down by Leroy Hill. Got an interception earlier, but cleans that run play up. And now 3rd down for the Gamecocks. So Ohio State beat Michigan despite Tyler Fry having a nice game. Jabari Davis, 300 all-purpose yards and 4 touchdowns on the ground against Vanderbilt. That's why they're national championship teams, right? Tennessee has 2 more games to go. If they win both of them, they're headed to the South Beach to take on the Buckeyes. 3rd down and 5 in the wishbone. Here's an option play. Pinkins will keep it, and he will not get there. It stops short. Now this is going to be an interesting decision. Will South Carolina kick the field goal and go for a 1-score game, or do they go for it for the touchdown? Pinkins is on the field. They're going for it. Oh, they are going for it. This might be a mistake. I think I would just take the field goal and then try for a touchdown, or depend on my defense to make some stops after a good 2nd half they've had. 4th and 1. Can they get the 1st down? They can! Leroy Hill gets the fullback down. I believe that was not Billy Gaines. Jamie Peters who got the 1st down, and he does. Goal to go now for the Gamecocks. They're 8 yards away from making this a 3-point game. This is an enormous drive, but they got to be aware of the clock here. Already a minute has gone by in the 4th quarter. They got to figure something out to get a touchdown and then get a stop and score again. First and goal at the 8. Fake toss. Pinkins is actually going to take off. Has the option. Pitches it to Boyd. He's in. Untouched is Boyd. And we got a one-possession game here in South Carolina. That was a really good fake toss into the option. Boyd sticking with him. Had the open space and used it to his advantage. Pinkins knew who to push to. And get 6. Corey Boyd, the redshirt freshman, with one of the best touchdowns he'll probably have in the sim in his career. Here we go. Extra point time for Stanley Huggins to make this a 3-point game. Left-footed kicker, and he got it. 17-14. Clemson only up by 3 now. Uh-oh. Clemson, it's starting to happen again. It's starting to happen again. Oh, no. They did the same thing against Pitt. Went up early by a couple scores, and they let him come back. This is starting to look like almost the exact same situation as that last game. That would be trash. If it wasn't for what happened yesterday, I wanted to do the triple headers on Thursday and Friday to not only get more games, but also make it quicker. It's a win-win for both of us. Both the audience and, well, myself as well. It benefits both of us. So, yeah, that's right. That's why I wanted to do triple headers. My only concern was me not waking up at time. That was the only concern. But, luckily, we did it this time, so if it does work out the same way, tomorrow I think we'll just stick with that for the rest of the season, and we'll figure out what to do from there. Here we go, trips at the bottom of the screen, first down, Clemson at the return. Whitehurst with some pressure, but he passed a man. Watch out, down the sideline, out of bounds inside the 35. What a play for Clemson. It was Collins who had the catch and run. No penalty this time to snuff it out. 34-yard line, what a catch and run. 8-22 for 178 and a touchdown for Whitehurst. Despite the accuracy issues, he's had a pretty okay game. No turnovers through touchdown. See if Clemson can get something going. Whitehurst has been so good at the run. Oh, game this time. Only gets 2. George Goss with the stop. Cedric Cobbs, 2 touchdowns, 160 yards, and a win over Mississippi State. Here's the situation for Arkansas. Razorbacks head to the SEC Championship if either Auburn loses to Alabama or if Auburn wins, Arkansas beats LSU. If one of those two things happen, the Razorbacks are the SEC title game against Tennessee. 2nd and 8 after the 2-yard run. Play fake. Here's Whitehurst firing complete to Williamson. First down, Tigers. South Carolina needs to either force a field goal or a turnover to keep themselves in this game. This would, if they force a field goal, it's still a one-score game, and South Carolina would just have to go for a touchdown. 19-yard line, 4:40 to go in the fourth quarter. Let's see if Clemson can get this going. Now Clemson's trying to get the momentum right back from South Carolina because they had it for a long time. Kelly is going to get a 4-yard gain on this run. 9 carries for 31 yards. Run game has been a little bit of a struggle fest here today between these two teams and in-state rivals. It's been a long journey for both these teams. How this will end will be up in the air in the last 4 minutes. And South Carolina needs to hope for a prayer from their defense. 3-yard gain, option play. Whitehurst has some space, pitches it to Kelly, and he's got a first down. It's goal to go for the Tigers again. 38 yards and a touchdown on 10 carries for Kelly. And another first and goal for the Tiger offense. This is why they say the option is hard to stop. Not only is it hard to stop, it's also hard to execute because one wrong move and it could result in a turnover. Right. Yeah, you got to execute it perfectly to get a good option play and a big gain on offense. First and goal to 9. Under 4 minutes to play. It looks like an empty backfield here. Collins will go motion. Actually, it might be ace backfield. So trips on the bottom screen. Play fake. Here's Whitehurst. In trouble. Fires left side. Almost intercepted. Ooh, that was close. I saw the defender had the ball right in his hands. I thought that was picked off in the end zone. That would have been huge for South Carolina. Oh my goodness, would that have been a huge turnaround. Wonder who got that one. Was that Lawrence? That might have been Hurley who had that one. Maybe it was Spike. I don't know. I guess we'll never know. Second down, here's Kelly on the run back. Has some blocks, but he's going to go down at the 7. That will set up 3rd and goal. South Carolina fighting with everything they've got. Preston Thorne this time with a stop. One stop away from forcing a field goal or forcing a takeaway. Takeaway would be the best case scenario right now for South Carolina, but if that doesn't pan out, then hey, for stopping them and forcing a field goal, that's actually the next best thing. Just over 3 minutes to go, they would have plenty of time if they will stop him for a field goal. Here goes 3rd and goal. Whitehurst, little rollout pass, fires over the middle. Oh, he is a yard short. Oh, he is a yard short. Unbelievable. It was Lavelle Armstrong, the backup tight end. He came up at the 1-yard line. Oh my goodness, and Clemson's gonna kick, giving South Carolina a chance at the lead. Unbelievable. Huey Williams, 18 of 27 this season. This one from 19 yards away. Hadn't had the best field goal percentage, but this short field goal goes through. And so Clemson takes a 6-point lead against their in-state rival. Now it's South Carolina's turn to try to respond with just over 2.5 minutes left. Absolute unbelievable scenes going on. Let's see if South Carolina has a miracle in them to come back in this ballgame after being down, what was it, 17-0? Yep. 17-0 at halftime. Not the first time you'd see a 3-score comeback. We've had 2 of them on stream games this season. Oregon against Arizona State, and just last week, the backyard brawl, West Virginia did it against Pitt, coming back from a 20-0 deficit. Here goes the return. Troy Williamson with a spin move. Tries to break free, and he's down at the 22-yard line. So special teams doesn't have a factor yet in this ball game. Let's see if South Carolina could drop down the field and come all the way back from that 3-score deficit they had in the first half. Who would have thought that South Carolina, despite that first half where they only had 51 yards of offense and 2 turnovers, would actually have a chance at this ball game? I don't think anybody would have. Pinkins with some good protection. Fires to completion. That one caught by Williamson across the middle. Brought down by Brian Carr. A little bit dangerous pass there by Pinkins. However, it does go for a pretty short gain. It is a positive gain at least. So no stick it down. Yeah, Pinkins needs to be a little bit more careful with those throws that are close to the defender. You don't want a turnover here. That could actually end your chances here. Yeah, especially in this kind of territory. Here goes the run, but a fullback. This is Jamie Peters. Gets a few yards, but not too much. And it'll be 3rd down after the stop by Andre Hurst. Andre Hurst, the true freshman defensive end, has actually had a pretty good impact on this defense. I look forward to seeing him in the near future. I had to think about my freshman of the year, which is also called newcomer of the year. 3rd down and 3. Here goes Summers. And he's going to be just short. Oh, he is going to be short. It's going to be 4th and inches. It's going to come down to this play on 4th down. Oh my goodness, so here we go. South Carolina with all 3 timeouts. They've got to score. They got to get a first down here to extend their drive and their chances of coming back in this ball game. And Pinkins will take it, and he is across, and he's got a first down. Minute 12 remaining. They will go no huddle. Players of the game, we got Peters with the touchdown rushing, Whitehurst the touchdown passing. 14-20. Ball's placed down, clock keeps moving. What a clutch play for Dontrell Pinkins in this kind of game. Needs something like that. Pinkins on first down. Lofter pass is complete. Andy Boyd makes the grab. And it's just inside Clemson territory. 3 straight completions for Pinkins. Found his tight end on the outside, and now comes the timeout. 59 seconds to go in the 4th quarter. First down at the 49. How will this final minute end? Oh my goodness, this is going to come down to the final minute of the game. This is either going to be a South Carolina comeback victory or Clemson finally winning the big one. Finally winning a string game for the first time. Pinkins under pressure, outside throw. Oh, it's Schwartz. Taqib Muhammad, who is the leading receiver for South Carolina, dropped the ball. That was wide open. Oh, you cannot have that kind of play, Taqib Muhammad. You're wide open and you drop the ball. 2nd and 10. I think South Carolina needs to know that they need a touchdown. They can't get a field goal here. They're going to throw out of it. Pinkins picked up well. That's a left side throw. Oh, it's Schwartz. Tough pass to make. Touch to make for Williamson. Justin Miller with some good defense. 3rd and 10. 51 seconds remaining. Starting to come down to the wire. 2 close calls. I mean, that pass for Muhammad should have been a gimme, but he dropped this one. That could be the momentum blocker or the heart dropper for South Carolina's ball game. We'll see what the ending of this drive is. Pinkins on 3rd down. Right side throw. Oh, it's tipped up. That was in heavy traffic. That's I'm going for Corey Boyd. And here we go, 4th and 10. They don't get this first down here, it's over. And Clemson survives. But if they get it here, the drive is still alive. 4th downs. South Carolina currently 2 of 2 on 4th. Can they make it 3 for 3? Here we go. Trips on the top screen. Could be detrimental here. Empty backfield. Summers goes in motion. 4th and 10 for the game. Pinkins looks left side. Incomplete. Clemson takes over and will survive here in Death Valley. Clemson finally wins a streamed game. South Carolina's going to come up short. Almost a comeback. Wow, what a game. And I think Clemson's 1 first down away from sealing this thing off. They are. That's just unfortunate play. Pinkett's got a little bit of pressure to force him to overthrow his receiver. Ends up being the final nail in the coffin. Oh my goodness. You gotta be kidding me. Wait, that actually helps Clemson. Oh my goodness, it's over. Because South Carolina just got forced to call a timeout. Because the clock would have been running. You know, the penalties in this game are a little weird. Because if you get set or you go for a run or a catch is made, you go down, the clock runs on a penalty. I don't understand that. I don't know if that's just how it was back then or what, but yeah, I think that holding call saved Clemson. I think it definitely did. And yet the final kneel downs. But the Tigers are going to officially seal it. Clemson has finally won a game, a stream game, on Season 2 of the Sim. And they've gotten some big wins before. I mean, they beat Virginia for the 2nd year in a row. They beat the team with Matt Shaw, but now they beat the team with Keenan Nye, a true freshman. They almost beat Pitt and they almost beat Maryland this season. They really could have finished in like the top 20, and they also could have been in contention for the ACC had a couple games gone their way. Oh yeah, and who could forget that Florida State game where it was a 1-point game? Clemson just came up short. Man, just a couple of close games there for Clemson. That long streak of utility finally ends in Death Valley. Here goes Kelly for one more play. Just don't fumble, and that's it. The Clemson Tigers survive a late rally by South Carolina. Clemson ahead 17-0, ends up winning by 6. The Tigers will get 7-5, and South Carolina will go to 6-6. Tigers have done it. They have knocked off their rivals. Despite losing the first down battle, they won the total offense, they won the turnover battle, and also time of possession. So for the game, Charlie Whitehurst 10 of 25 for 196, a touchdown, no interceptions whatsoever. Rushing wise, it was decent. You know, Kelly had a touchdown, but Whitehurst also had 31 rushing yards. So 10-25 for 196, or 10-25 for 196 plus 31 is 227 total yards and a touchdown. Pass to Aries Curry. Derek Hamilton got held to 1 catch that whole game. 2 sacks, 3 interceptions. Ty Hill, Leroy Hill, and Travis P. go-ahead picks on for Clemson on South Carolina. Dontrell Pinkins 10-25 for 153 and 3 picks. Rushing wise, 2 rushing touchdowns for Jamie Peters and Corey Boyd. Of course, that was on that one option play. Troy Williamson, 4 catches for 73 yards. No sacks, no interceptions, no turnovers. However, that was what pretty much cost South Carolina the game, and also that 4th down play that could have gone a little bit differently. So that will do it for the Battle of the Palmetto Bowl. Last game tonight, 8-7 Central, is the Iron Bowl. 15th ranked Auburn faces Alabama in Tuscaloosa. You don't want to miss it.